NBA Finals continue on Monday night. Game 3. Knicks and the Spurs, and they go to New York for the first time. It is going to be mayhem. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But more importantly, I've got side, total, player props, free plays analysis for Game 3 Monday night coming up for you in this video right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on Wager Talk TV. And hey, look, we hit 250,000 subscribers this past week. Thank you to each and every one of you. If you haven't clicked subscribe, it's not too late. 300,000, here we come. Make sure you click subscribe and you click that bell for instant alerts. You know when my Game 4 and Game 5, 6, if necessary, videos are ready. And also daily baseball videos, free play videos throughout the week here. And of course, if you're liking these free play videos, all I ask is a quick thumbs up like. It takes 2 seconds. Click the thumbs up like on your computer and your mobile device. And if you're on your mobile device, click the hype button. You get an extra chance to hype it up on your mobile device. All right, it's been a fantastic series so far, back and forth, yet the Knicks have come out ahead in both games despite trailing by double digits in both games. And I'm losing track. Was it 13 straight wins now? They went 14 straight wins? No, 13 straight wins. They were down 1-2 against the Hawks. They won 3 straight, then 4-4-2. Oh, man, it's incredible. I'm losing count. 13 straight wins. I think it was 8 in a row now on the road. They head to New York, and it is mayhem. You know, before the series even began, we saw tickets up to almost 100,000 for down there low court, 9,000 upper court. Essentially, I looked at the secondary resale market here this weekend, and Game 4 actually has slightly higher prices than Game 3. I guess the thought process is they could theoretically win the whole thing in Game 4. Otherwise, it would have to be Game 6 back at home, and those tickets are getting pretty pricey, as you can imagine. But right now, the cheapest possible ticket's about 8,000 to 9,000 up in the nosebleeds. If you want closer to lower court, it's about 80,000 a pop. Drop in the comments below. Would you spend 80,000 to watch the Knicks? I personally would not. I would take that 80,000 and do a lot of other things with it. But hey, what would you do with 80,000? Drop it in the comments below. I read the comments and I reply back, as do thousands of viewers here on the videos. Look, it's going to be a big spark for the Knicks, but they've been great on the road, as I mentioned. And the public has been on the Knicks in this series as a dog. Obviously, it's worked out. They've been on in the series price. The Knicks opened like plus 170. They were actually minus 130 after the Game 1 win. Now they're minus 450 in some spots. So it's about an 80% chance now, according to the odds makers, they will win this series. And historically speaking, they're in pretty good company. I mean, the team that wins Game 1 normally wins the series 70% of the time. However, as I talked about on Friday, that's normally the home team. Home teams were 61-18 in Game 1 all times. They were 59-22 in the series itself. But that's been flipped around. In fact, this is only the third time in NBA Finals history that the road team has won both games 1 and 2 in the NBA Finals. The other 2 times it happened are interesting to talk about. 1993, the Chicago Bulls surprisingly were the road team in games 1 and 2 because the Phoenix Suns and MVP Charles Barkley that season in 93 had the best record in the NBA, but the Bulls were a minus 240 favorite to win that series. So it wasn't much of an upset, and they did win games 1 and 2. But what's interesting from a handicapping perspective is that the Suns came back to win Game 3 in Chicago after that in triple overtime. So maybe we're up for a great game here. The other time it happened was 2 years later. It happened in 1995. The Houston Rockets, who were the defending world champs from 94, came in 10 games weaker than the Magic with Shaquille O'Neal, but they won both road games, went on to win the whole thing. In fact, they were one of only 2 teams in NBA history, not as a top 3 seed, to win the NBA title. They were a 6 seed because they had a very mediocre regular season. They had to trade with Clyde Drexler at that point in the season. But they were better than their record indicates, and they did sweep the Magic 4-0. So it's happened twice, and the road team's gone 1-1 in Game 3. I think the Spurs can get back on track here. I don't think the Knicks are necessarily the better team. They might be, and I know many of you are going to comment below, the Knicks are red hot, Steve. How dare you say that? The Spurs were almost a 2-1 favorite a couple days ago when this series began. I liked them in this series. They're obviously in trouble now, and I've liked them in Games 1 and 2. And yes, I've been wrong, technically. But they've had double-digit leads in both those games. They led for 47% of Game 2 the other night. The Knicks only led for 50% of the game. You go back to Game 1. Spurs led for 56% of Game 1. The Knicks only led for 41%. And once again, they had the bigger lead in that game. They were up 14, and then they were up 12 in Game 2. They haven't been thoroughly outplayed. What happened was they got outscored 11-0, lost by 10 in the fourth quarter in Game 1. They had a bad second quarter in Game 2 the other night, but then they were the better team really in the second half. It's been a very evenly matched series when all is said and done. And yes, the Knicks have a strong home court atmosphere, but sometimes that can work against you. And I think the conventional wisdom is, Knicks first quarter or Knicks first half, they're going to come out with some energy, but maybe they're going to overplay as well. I'm not going to try to analyze that too deep. I like the Spurs to make this a series. I think it's an evenly matched series. I thought coming in, as I told you in the series preview, that the zigzag would work well, just like it did in the Western Conference Finals. And keep in mind, the Spurs and Thunder were very evenly matched. They won a full 7 games, 2 of the best teams in the league. With that said, though, games 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were basically all blowouts. In fact, the middle 5 games, the team that won never trailed in the second half. That hasn't been the case. We've seen both teams overcome double-digit deficits in the second half in this series so far. So I think the zigzag works here off back-to-back losses, and now we're getting points with the team that might be the better overall team. Doesn't mean they're going to win the NBA Finals. I'm not saying that. I don't know if they're going to win 4 out of the next 5. But regular season, they had a better offensive efficiency, better defensive efficiency. Yes, I know the Knicks have been better in the playoffs, but they have faced a weaker schedule. I like the Spurs plus the 2, 2.5. I think they're a live dog, and obviously, if I'm looking at them at plus 2, 2.5, definitely would not disagree with the sprinkle or even more of a play on the money line at plus 110 or 115. The extender, Scott Foster winning game 1. We won't get him in game 3, I don't think, which would have been nice because I would have felt stronger about the play. But you can't imagine the NBA doesn't want a few more games in this series, despite the fact those ticket prices are pretty high in New York. As far as the total, it's around 215.5, 216. We have had unders in both games 1 and 2 so far. As I told you in Game 1, historically speaking, game finals between Class A teams in Games 1, especially the NBA Finals, are low scoring, and that was the case with just 200 points. But the pace was fairly fast, especially out of the gate, and then they got to 209 in Game 2 on Friday night, stayed under the total once again by a few baskets, but could have gotten over there. Pace not quite as fast, but here again, as I talked about that energy level with New York in front of their fans, I think they're going to come out running and gunning. The Spurs like up-tempo. Even though these are 2 good defensive teams, they're also 2 great offensive teams and very efficient offenses, especially this postseason. They've been the 2 best, in my opinion. And I think the Spurs will run with them. So I look for more fast breaks than we've had in the first 2 games. Also, the 3-point shot for New York. They're not going to try to score down low with Wemby, the 7'6" center, clogging up the paint. So I like more 3-point attempts in this game. And that, by the way, was the difference in Game 2 for the Knicks. They had 4 more 3-point shots, and they were slightly better percentage-wise. That means they were plus 12 from 3-point range, and they won by 1. That means the Spurs were plus 11 from 2-point range and the free throw line, where you normally see more consistent scoring. That's a good sign. You go back to Game 1, they were even from 3-point range. The Knicks were better down low, and they did have a points in the paint edge. And I know many of you in the comments below talked about that. Was a surprise. It was a surprise to me as well. Well, the Spurs got back on track in Game 2, and they were plus 10, 48-38 from points in the paint. And I think that'll be an edge they continue to have in this series. I like the Spurs. I think the over makes sense here well, 216 over after 2 unders. Keep in mind, games 3 and 4 and even 5 usually are a little higher scoring than games like 1, 6, or 7, for example, because they're not elimination games yet. So you see a little bit less defensive intensity. I think that crowd energy might make the pace of play a little faster here. You know, normally if that's the case out of the gate, we could say we could look at a first quarter over or a first half over. The problem is they keep jacking the first half line higher than the game itself. It's 111. It's 105 for the second half. You never would see this in college basketball. I mean, in college basketball, you see like an 8 or 10 point higher second half because of the fouling. You don't get as many fouls in the NBA, quicker shot clock as well. But so I don't think there's as much value with the first half over because that line is 6 points higher, 5 points, 6 points higher than the full second half line would be. Same thing with the first quarter line. It's 55.5. That would project to about 111 again, where the full game total is only 216. So we'll just play San Antonio full game, over 215.5, Spurs plus 2, 2.5, or the money line plus 110, plus 115. What are your thoughts on the side or total? Drop them in the comments below and include some analysis if you have time so we can all learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. Let's look at some player props for you. You know, I talked about this in Game 2, and I mentioned it a moment ago. The Knicks won the 3-point battle, and I think that makes a lot of sense. They took 9 more 3-point shots than the Spurs did in Game number 2. And in the first game, they had less 3-pointers. They took more in Game 2, and I think they'll continue to do so in Game 3. Karl Anthony Towns, 3-pointers over OG Anunoby. Also, maybe someone like Bridges up and over the 3-point shot numbers in Game number 3, I think makes some sense here. Josh Hart's someone interesting to talk about. He did not do much from a scoring perspective once again. I talked about that in Game 1. In fact, he did not score in Game 2. He also had early foul trouble, though, and did end up with 5 fouls. Karl Anthony Towns also had 5 fouls, but he stayed out there. Josh Hart only played 18 minutes, and that's because he picked up some early fouls. So I do think he might have more minutes. Josh Hart props might be worth a look, more so on the rebound or the assist side, because he hasn't really scored in either game that much. In Game 1, he only had 3 points, and he only took 5 shot attempts, but he had 15 rebounds, 6 assists. And then in Game 2, in just 18 minutes, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. So Hart rebound and assist props seems obvious, but it's been working. I think it'll continue to work. He might take more 3-pointers, though. He had 2 in 18 minutes in Game 2. He did have 3 in 27 minutes in Game number 1. But he's just not getting a lot of minutes, so you got to be careful with that points prop. Karl Anthony Towns, he's been solid so far. 18 points in Game 1. And then in Game 2, he had 21 points. He took only 2 threes in Game 1, didn't hit one. He made 3 out of 5 in Game 2. So Anthony Towns' threes over, I think, worth a look once again. And Anunoby took 5 3-pointers in Game 1. In Game 2, 6 in Game 1. So he's at 11 in the first 2 games. So Anunoby threes, especially 3-point attempts over, makes a lot of sense. And it was good with Miguel Bridges as well. He took 6 of them in Game number 2, as I thought he might, and he took 6 of them. None of them in Game 1, but he took 6 then in Game 2. So you can see where that game plan has changed. I think the Knicks continue to take a lot of threes. And here again, the side and total are dependent on if those are falling, and that's always a little bit of random variance. And at home, you would think they should shoot well. So I like the Spurs, but if the Knicks are hitting the threes, they're going to probably win. So the over helps you a little bit of a hedge there on the side total. And I do still think the 3-point attempts, whether they hit them or not, it's a different story, but the 3-point shot attempts will be there in Game 3 for the Knicks like it was in Game 2. So I think that's a good way to attack some of the Knicks player props. Jalen Brunson did not score well. He only had 20 points, only 7 for 25, 2 for 8 from 3, and only got to the free throw line 5 times. In Game number 1, he got to the free throw line only 4 times. Never looking to fade a superstar, but he's only had 30 and 20 in the first 2 games. He's getting banged up. So I would just be neutral in Brunson. I would not be jumping on his over anytime soon. Mitchell Robinson, got to love watching him do the hack-a-shack. Speaking of the Orlando Magic from 95, the hack-a-shack 31 years later against Mitchell Robinson. It was working early on. He was only 1 for 4, but then he hit a couple and they stopped. He was 3 for 6 from the free throw line in Game number 2, 0 for 1 in Game 1. I don't know if you saw the stat during Game 2, but he's I think he's the worst career playoff shooter ever from the free throw line. He's like 38%. Man, is that an ugly shot. Shoot the granny shot. Leave your pride on the sideline, help your team, and learn to shoot a Rick Barry granny shot. We used to say that about Shaq back in the day. All right, as far as the San Antonio player props, if I like the Spurs, I like the over. Obviously, I'm looking for some players over from the Spurs side. Wemby has to step up. He had 29 points, but boy, was he inconsistent as well. He had like 20-some in the second half, had a very weak first half, especially that second quarter when the Knicks really pulled ahead and took the big lead. Wemby was only 6 for 21 shooting in Game 1, still got to 26 points in 38 minutes. Played 40 minutes and got to 29 points, just 11 for 21 shooting. Only got to the free throw line 8 times in Game 2 after 13 times in Game 1. Wemby points over makes a lot of sense. Rebounds and points as well. He's had 21 rebounds in the 2 games. However you want to attack Wemby and the over, I think it's worth a look. Look, about a week and a half ago, I said, could he be the greatest big man ever when it's all said and done? Now I'm just wondering if he's a little overrated at times. But, he's playing like a 22-year-old. Made a lot of mistakes down the stretch. Had that rebound and then threw the ball in the back of Castle at half court and then fouled Brunson, which ended up being the winning point, and then missed the winning shot. But he took a bad 3 earlier. He's got to stop taking so many threes. He was only 2 for 6 from 3-point range. He took a turnaround 3 from the corner without even looking at the basket. As a coach, that bothers me. So if Wemby plays his game, he's unstoppable. Will he do that? I think the adjustments will be made here with 2 days off for rest and travel. De'Aaron Fox looked better. We talked about in the Game 2 preview that he didn't look healthy in Game 1, only 7 points, 3 for 13 shooting. And because of that, I told you I thought Dylan Harper would play more and should play more. He, of course, had 16 points in 28 minutes in Game 1. Well, Harper played 32 minutes and got 15 points, got 12 shot attempts. But Fox did have a good game, 20 points in 34 minutes, 8 for 12 shooting. So has he gotten healthier? That's a big plus for the Spurs as well, and another reason I like them in Game 3. Continue to ride the Dylan Harper props over, though. They're not going to limit his time. He's playing fantastic. And Spurs are probably not going to win the championship this year, but they're going to win 3 of the next 5 most likely. Half their top 6 is 22 or younger. Harper's 20. Castle's, I think, 21 or 22. Wemby's 22. This is a really good youth lineup here, and you saw how much better Castle got this year from last year. Harper is already playing a ton of minutes as a 20-year-old rookie. he's going to be a superstar in a few years. And then Wemby should continue to get better as well if he stays healthy. Spurs are going to win 3 of the 5 next titles. It just might not be this season. That's how good this team is. But that's why I like them in Game 3. They're a legitimate championship team, and I think they'll fight and play hard. Dylan Harper props up and over. I think he'll continue to get those minutes off the bench. Will he take the points or the minutes from? Well, you look at Stephon Castle. He still got 28 minutes, 14 points. Vassell, I said, buy Vassell, because I thought he would play well. 14 points, 9 shots, 3 for 7 from 3. He's taken a lot of threes. Vassell also in game number 1 was only 1 for 6 from 3. So he's taken 13 3-pointers, and I think his up and over could be worth a look. Castle, Fox, Vassell, you figure they all trade points, and then Harper gets in there. It's really all for them. Champagny even's playing well. He only had 8 points. He may be a guy they're taking some of the shots away from. Julian Champagny's playing 36 minutes, but it's more for defensive reasons, so maybe his under. But the other guys I would look over or pass, Wemby especially, Harper overs have been working well also, and would not be opposed to Fox, Vassell, or Castle. I mean, I think all these guys could have big games, especially if the Spurs win and it is high-scoring and fast-paced. What are your thoughts in game number 3? Side, total, player props. What are you using for Monday night? Drop them in the comments below. And as I said earlier, include some analysis if you have time, so we, of course, can all learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. If you're liking these free play videos, I've done every playoff game this postseason, including the NBA Finals, and I'll have Game 4 for you. Game 5, I think there will be a Game 5 back in San Antonio. Perhaps a Game 6. I think there'll be a Game 6. What are your thoughts? How many games does this go? Knicks aren't sweeping them, I don't think. Nothing surprises me. Hey, they've won 13 straight, right? They should sweep them if it only was that easy. Look, I'm not looking to fade momentum. I'm a momentum guy, and New York is playing excellent basketball. Keep in mind, by the way, they have scored 105 or more in every playoff game this year, but they've only had 105 the last 2 games. That's actually they've been held to their playoff low back-to-back games despite winning. So here again, the Spurs can compete in this one. We'll see what happens. But thumbs up, like, and I will continue to do these videos for you. If you're on your mobile device, click the hype button as well. That's so appreciated. Comment below and click subscribe and click the bell for an instant alert. You'll know when the Game 4 video is ready for Wednesday night, and also when my free play baseball videos are posted throughout the week, including some free baseball videos for Monday right here on the channel, along with this NBA Game 3 preview. Now, I'm giving you free sides, total player opinions in every game, every day. A lot of these are light leans only. 1% of bankroll is appropriate for light TV leans, but sometimes I do upgrade these to my best bet card for my personal clients, and those are strong 4% plays. And it's so simple. If you're a client at wagertalk.com, you get my best bets every day, and these are truly my personal best bets. It's always been that way. I started 30 years ago, August of 1996. That's right, this August will be my 30th anniversary in a couple months as a full-time sports bettor and professional handicapper, and it's always been the same from day one. If I'm using a game, I send it to all my clients. Get my strong best bets for Monday, along with Major League Baseball on a daily basis. Baseball is your bread and money maker, right? Bread and butter, daily money maker for the rest of the summer. We have anywhere from 2 to 5 NBA games left. That's all. 2 to 5 NBA games left. A few best bets along the way. Baseball, we have up to 15 games every day. It's like a full NFL card every single day of the week. That's how you build your bankroll, especially with football only a couple months away. So go check out my daily baseball best bets. Check out the NBA Finals top plays. And check out the bonus free play. The last cut, just a bit outside from being a best bet on my card each and every day. Major League Baseball this time of year goes up as a free play. So go get that bonus free play. And by the way, that you might want to treat as a 2% opinion because it was really close to being a 4% play. Go get the daily free play. Check out the strong best bets. And while you're there, check out the special offers, including buy 3 days, get 3 days free. That's right. Buy 3 days, 3 more days free for just $69, dude. That's almost a little over $10 a day. Only about $3 to $5 a play. Everyone gets excited for $5 Tuesday, but how about every day is a $5 Tuesday? Every play is $5 or less with direct subscriptions, including buy 3, get 3 days free. And oh, by the way, insider tip, they're stackable. That means you can buy multiple 3-day, get 3 free packages, basically 6-day packages, and use them whenever you want down the road. You can always pick your own start dates. So they're stackable, limited time only. A 3-day package is $69. You're getting 3 more bonus days, so it's basically a 6-day package for just $69, dude. No promo code needed. Steve Merril, wagertalk.com. And, of course, get there quicker with shortcut wt.buzz/SM. On the way out, follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merril. 2 R's, 1 L. Merril. At Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because there's more free play videos coming up next.